Underneath the trees, we watch the sky, confusing stars and satellites. I never dreamed that you'd be mine, but here we are, we're here tonight. Singing, hey, man, I'm alive, I'm alive. Singing, hey, man, I am alive. If everyone cared and nobody cried, if everyone loved and nobody lied, and if everyone shared and swallowed the pride, then we see the day when nobody died, and I'm singing, amen, amen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to 1 hour with UCIEL. I want to start by saying sorry I haven't been live for the last couple of weeks. Um, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a lot of things going on, from family to work. People not wanting to work, so I have to work. I have to work sometimes double. And I'm exhausted. It's a lot of things, helping my mom and a lot of things going on. But I want to apologize for that. Uh but I'm back, and I will have a lot to talk about. And you're welcome to call me if you don't agree with me. You're welcome to call at 833-586-6218. Again, 833-586-6218, and you could give me your opinion. Extension 0. You give me your opinion. You could tell me you don't agree or you agree. Whatever it is, everything's welcome. You know, long as we keep it respectful, everything's welcome. I'm open um, to any type of reaction. If you don't agree, if you agree, it doesn't mean you're wrong or you're right. We are entitled to our opinion. This is why I make this show, because I'm entitled to my opinion, and sometimes I speak things that no one wants to speak, because we have to be good people. We have to be nice, and then oh, it's not the right thing to say, but it's the truth. It's a truth thing to say, and I like to say the truth. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to say those things, the things that you probably you didn't even think about, or probably you thought about, but you didn't want to say it, or probably you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to sometimes. Um, First I want to start with the holidays are coming in, and um, we're gonna have our outreach. I believe, I don't remember what days we're gonna have it, but we're gonna have our outreach. We're gonna have potluck. So if you want to come out, the 23rd, if you want to come out and support us, you could donate at our links, or you could send something, or you could get in touch with us. You don't If you don't want to give money, that's fine too. But if you want to bring like a plate, a dish, or any treats, we're gonna be out there blessing these people that they have nowhere to go on Thanksgiving, that people forget about them. And I know that sometimes these people make their choices, but that doesn't mean they're not human. Doesn't mean we're gonna judge them. That's not our job. Our job is to lead them to God and let them know that God loves them. But if we're treating them like crap, what does that say about the God that we serve? What is If he's not teaching us nothing but love? What does that say if we start rejecting people? And I'm gonna get into that, because there's a lot to talk about that. But I want to start with that. Like, please, we need your help. We need your help. I know that situations are bad right now, especially with what's going on with the shutdown and whatnot. But sometimes we find ourselves spending more money on just dumb things. Why not help your brother and sister in need? A potluck, come on, a snack, or a drink. Anything helps. Anything helps. $5, even if you want to do that. You know, anything helps. Um, so I'm gonna start with that, and also with Christmas coming around, I just want to talk about how let's not make let's not give puppies as a gift unless we know they're going to keep them forever, unless we know the family is willing to take care of that puppy, that is willing, because that puppy is going to be wild. That puppy's going to be wild for the first 2 years of his life. He's going to be destroying stuff. He's going to be crapping all over. He's going to be doing stuff. If you're not up for it, don't get those puppies. If you don't have an area for them that you can't keep them so he won't poop all over your house, train them. Don't scream at them. They don't know what they did. See, animals, the thing about puppies and any animal at any age, the minute they do something, that's when you need to let them know that's a no no, don't do it. But you can't get mad at him 20 hours later for what he did 20 hours before. You can't, because he's not going to understand that. He's going to think that you're abusing him. He's going to think you're yelling at him. So let's be careful who we give a puppy to this Christmas. I can't tell you not to buy a puppy. That's your choice. But if you're going to do it a wise choice, because we don't want that puppy to end up in the shelter. There's so many animals in the shelters. So many animals in the shelters is crazy. And instead of buying one, why not adopt? See, people are going to continue selling doggies um, because there's people continuing buying them. Where the shelters are, they're full of them. Um, they're still dumping dogs on Bakersfield. They're still dumping dogs. Um, I just saw a video of a husky got surrendered by his owner after 9 years. They don't want him no more. How do you get rid of a puppy after 9 years? How do you have the heart to do that? How do you have the heart to get rid of your dog for 9 years and say I don't want him no more? He's being a bad boy. You just realize that? Like 9 years? Are you kidding me? How do you go on? I don't know their situation. I don't know, but it seemed like they just gave up on him. You know, and I understand that there's certain things that happen because it happens to us too. But we see what happens with us is we try to, um, although we sometimes we do get frustrated. Of course, we're human, but we try to fix the problem. We have like 1,000 gates all over this house. All over my house is like 1,000 gates, keeping the animals separated, keeping, because we don't want them. When we're around them, they could all be together, but we're not around. We have lives, we have work. We don't, we have them separated, and we take them outside, we take them to the park, we take them for walks, and all that stuff. You know, um, but we're not gonna throw one out because it doesn't get along with the other one. We're not. We're gonna work on it, and eventually they will. And some don't get along, but it's also, I believe, it's also the atmosphere that they live in. It's also what you project in them. So we have learned to calm down and just deal with them, and it's easier. It's easier. Puppies are gonna do what puppies do, just like a child. They're gonna destroy stuff. You know, um, we're like thinking about this Christmas because we have our Dodger doggy. We have him, and he's a year and 3 months. So he's rambunctious. He's all over the place. So we were joking about, oh, maybe we're not gonna decorate, stuff. We like to put baby Jesus up there and not stuff like that, because we're afraid that he's gonna destroy it. Um, because that's what happened with Olivia. We had to wait a year, and now that she's doing better, we have to wait for Dodger. But we have to find solutions. We can't just get rid of them. And it's this financial thing. There's programs that help puppies, that they help with dog food. There's programs that do help with dog food. You just have to apply and research. There's programs for everything nowadays. We're blessed with that. There's doors we just have to knock and do a little work. You know, and it and if the worst case scenario, you can't keep your dog, please take them to a place with non-killed shelter, where they're gonna find them a home. Don't leave them in the streets, don't hurt them. We just had here in Las Vegas, Nevada, in Henderson, they found a dog wrapped in a plastic bag. It was horrible. And they said that they believe that he was still alive while he was in the bag. They rushed him to the vet, and he unfortunately passed. They found the owner. I don't know his situation. I really, to be honest with you, I really don't care his situation. I really don't care because um, you wrapped him in a plastic bag while he's still alive. It would have been different if you would have taken him to a shelter and said, "Hey, I can't deal with him. I can't feed him or whatever." But you purposely wrapped him in a plastic bag and threw him in the trash. Luckily, someone heard his whimpering. Someone heard him whimper. He wasn't even crying no more. He was whimpering. So I really don't care what's his excuse. And you might say, "Well, don't you supposed to care about?" No, I don't care for evil people. No, I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. That's evil. That's evil. So let's be careful what we do with our puppies when this Christmas. They're not toys. You can't just say, I don't want to play with him no more. I don't want him. He shits everywhere. Well, yeah, do your research. If you're not ready for it, don't do it. Don't do it, because it's a lot of responsibilities. They need time to go outside. They need you to bathe them. They need you to take them to the vet. They need toys. They need food. It. They need quality of time too. So if you're not ready for it, don't do it. Please don't do it. Um. So I'm gonna start with uh about what's going on with there's no the food stamps got taken away from people that people in need. um See, um welfare was designed to help you go through it, through whatever it is that you're going through. Whether you know it doesn't matter who you are. It's designed to help you. Now, let me remind everyone out there that government help assistance does not apply for people that don't have Social Security. If you don't have a Social Security, if you're illegal, they're not going to help you. They're going to help your child that is born here, but they're not going to help that person. I know. I work very closely with people that um, I help fill out the application and stuff like that. So no, they're not going to help you. They're not. So all that craziness that, oh, illegals are taking our food stamps. No, they're not, because they don't give them money. They only give to the child. You know, um, so with all this that they don't have money, oh, the government does, you know, there's no food stamps, there's nothing to eat. Let me tell you, there's a lot of food banks, there's a lot of churches that are out there giving out food, even private resources. There's a lot of people out there giving out food, and as a matter of fact, there's people that have food stands, that sell food, that they're also willing, if you're hungry, come and get a plate. So there is. The problem with that is food that you don't like. It's food that you don't consume. It's food that, because we're spoiled. We're spoiled. We're spoiled in the sense that food stamps let us buy whatever we want: junk food, soda, chips, all that stuff. See, yes, we're spoiled. But in reality, there is food out there. There might not be the chips that you like. It might be knockoff. I don't know, but there is food out there. The church that we go to, they give out um every fourth Saturday, farmers market. Farmers market means vegetables, fruit. You know, you could do a lot with it. Um, and I believe they have on Friday. They have stuff going on too. So there is food out there, but you just have to do this research. You have to walk over there or catch the bus or get a ride, But there is food out there. There is food out there. It's just food that people might not like. They probably don't eat that stuff. Um, no, I don't believe in giving you stuff that is expired. I don't believe in that. But it's good food. I seen it. I seen it. Um, our the church that we go to have plums and oranges and salads and drinks. I mean, we have to be grateful. We have to be grateful for the little things that might look little to you, but in really meaning they're big things. Because when you're hungry, you're hungry. When you're hungry, everything is delicious. So let's not be ungrateful people. Let's not, you know, there's people out there giving out food. There, and the fact that when people out there are giving out food and there's still a lot of food left overs, not a lot of people showed up, lets me know that you're not that worried. Because if I was in that situation and I'm worried, you better believe I'm gonna be hitting every food bank I can. Guess what, guys? We're gonna have canned food this month because we're low on food stamps. Teach your kids to eat stuff be survive to know how to survive. Teach your kids to be survival, to have survival modes, to know, you can make a good meal out of canned food and a little potatoes and this and that. And show them, teach them, because they're not always going to have that. See, you're not always going to be there for them. And this right here, that food stamps are cut off, lets you know that this is not going to be happening all the time. You're not going to have this available to you all the time. Why? This proves it. This right here proves it, that you're not going to have all this help all the time. You're not going to have it. So, do the best you can. Try to go to the food banks. Um, be grateful. Be grateful that you know, there's stuff like this given out. That there's people that are willing to donate. And work with what you got. Nowadays we have social media, and there's a lot of ladies that I like to watch their videos that that do miracles with on the kitchen. I I myself sometimes when I get some food handed out to me, like if I go to church and they have a lot of cans and they give me a couple, or sometimes I grab the lettuce, um, to do salad and stuff like that. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I tell Pastor Blue, I did this with the cans that the church gave me. Oh my God, it's good. We use them. You know what I mean? We find a way of using them. We have to be resourceful. Now in social media, there's a lot of ladies doing magic on that kitchen. I mean, there's ladies that have like 7 kids. I saw one lady 7 kids and doing miracles with $15. I'm like, dude, survival. It's teaching your kids to be humble. It's teaching your kids that there's times that we can't afford all that. And there's times that we're just going to have to settle for what God gives us and be grateful for that. So there is food out there, you know. So I just got handed. So if you guys, sorry guys, if you guys go to our website of 5osthouse.com, um, it has the food bank from the days of Balm of Gilead when they have it, but every fourth Saturday, okay? Every four, if there's 5 Saturdays, it's always every fourth Saturday. And they give out good stuff. I seen it. I know. So in our website we do have Balm of Gilead information, as in when it comes to food banks. And guess what? Sometimes they even put clothing out there, lightly used clothing and stuff like that. Kind of something like Olivia's Closet. They put it out there too. We have to be grateful for what we have. These are not the times to be spending crazy money on clothes. Hey, if you could get some for free, why not? Why not? You know, so please, people, stop closing your mind and saying, "Oh, well, we're devastated. They took off food stamps. There's nothing to eat." No, no. Do I feel bad for the seniors? I feel bad for the seniors because they can't go to the food banks unless someone takes them. They don't know a lot of the medias. They can't see daily. And when I say daily, I get people sending me where there's going to be uh food given away. Daily, daily. There's gonna be food here today. There's gonna be food tomorrow. They're gonna food. So there's food everywhere. We just have to do the research. We just have to be, you know, just to get with the program. I feel bad for the seniors that don't have. I feel bad for them because they're older. They can't walk far. They can't drive, and there's not a lot of people that are willing to help them. So that's why I feel bad for you. But if you're younger, come on, guys. We just have to get our up from our lazy behind and go do our research. You're gonna let your kids go hungry? Are you gonna go hungry just because they're not giving you hot Cheetos and soda? Someone said that on the media. They're like, "Well, food banks are not giving us Go-Gurts and hot Cheetos." Ma'am, that's not food. Hot Cheetos is not food, it's a snack. It's not a necessary thing. Work. If you want your hot Cheetos, then work for the hot Cheetos. When I buy my hot Cheetos, guess what? Because I worked for them. But if someone's going to give me something free, I'm not going to get picky and, oh, I want hot Cheetos. No. I'm going to be grateful for what the Lord has given me because they're not supposed to give us anything. But there's people out there giving you stuff. There's young ladies that make good money, and they said, if you're a mom in need with kids, um I'm willing to buy you a week's worth of groceries. Look at what an amazing, human beings are willing to do that for their brothers and sisters. That's amazing. you know so come on, people, be grateful for the things that these food banks are giving you. Become creative. Do you know do what you can. you know Don't be ungrateful, and don't be lazy to go to these places, and don't be ashamed either. You know, don't be. So, you know, um, I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna talk about there's other things that I'm gonna talk about that I might hit some nerves, you know, but then again, it wouldn't be me if I didn't. So, um, but I do invite you to guys to please do your research when it comes to food banks. Do your research, and if you don't need it, because if we don't need it, but someone that needs it, you could send them the address, so you could let them know, hey, I saw on Facebook, I saw on Instagram, I saw on TikTok, I seen that they're giving food here. If you know someone, I'm always forwarding stuff to people I know that might get a use of it, and they send it to me too, because I probably need it, or they probably know that I know someone that needs it. So I appreciate it, and I want to thank the people that do that. But why is so much food left over? Why is so much food? Why are people not going to pick it up? I don't understand that. I really don't. I remember as a little girl, my mom getting in line and being grateful for what she got. And that's how we learned to eat everything, because my mom told us not every time you're going to have you know, what you like. You're going to eat what God gives you. Other than my mom always saying, what we're going to eat, what God gives you. And she's absolutely right. It was what God gave me. My mom said, it would annoy me. What are we having tonight? Well, what God gives you. You're just going to have what God gave you. Oh, we're like, okay, And she's right. Always recognize God, because all these doors that are opening are from God. We're going to take a small break, and I'm going to talk about other stuff that are going on. Maybe you haven't heard of it, but it's going to get good. See you right back.
From underneath the trees, we watch the sky, confusing stars, the satellites. I never dreamed that you'd be mine, but here we are, we're here tonight, singing, amen, I'm alive, singing, amen, I'm alive. If everyone cared and nobody cried, if everyone loved and nobody lied, if everyone shared and swallowed their pride, then we see the day when nobody died. And I'm singing, amen, I'm alive, amen, amen, I'm alive. And in the air, the fireflies, our only light in paradise, would show the world they were wrong, but teach them all to sing along, singing, amen, I'm alive, singing, amen, I'm alive. If everyone cared, nobody cried. If everyone loved and nobody lied. If everyone shared and swallowed their pride, then we see the day when nobody died. If everyone cared and nobody cried. If everyone loved and nobody lied. If everyone shared and swallowed their pride, then we see the day when nobody died. Nobody died.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is your boy Blue. And when you're in the mix with me, we vibes, we rockin', we rollin', and we ride. So get ready, and we about to go on a trip. Let's do it. Woo, come on. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix with your boy Blue. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix with your boy Blue. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. That's right. Your boy Blue. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix.
You say the word, I'ma do that on sight. Ain't nothing worth me missing out on life. Just like a verb, I put actions to your words. Let me show the world something new. You done did something new. I'm holding on to you. You ain't that hard to choose. Oh, you get what I need, what I really want. Give it all to me till I'm feeling some. Show me how many till I sing. You got what I need, what I really want. Heavy on peace, heavy on love. If it ain't you, I don't need none. So will you take it all away? 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 Won't you take it all away? My heart is hungry, mind is steady. You have all of my attention. Give you everything you want. Cause you're everything I need. Jehovah, Jireh, more than a provider. I'm tired, I feel a peace. You're a giver, can I ask for more? You get what I need, what I really want. Give it all to me till I'm feeling some. Show me all I need till I sing. You got what I need, what I really want. Happy on peace, heavy on love. If it ain't you, I don't need none. So will you take it all away? So will you take it all away? So will you take it all away? So will you take it all away?
You're in the mix with your boy
You
Blue.
know that he gon' make a way. I done seen him make a blessing like 100 ways. Everybody got a time, a dog gon' have a day. Only running to the Lord, I never run away. Curving him, demons try to get me, but I'm swerving him. Circle him, target in my flesh, I had to murder him. Satan only come to steal your joy just like a burglar. Smirking him, I know he got it covered like a pergola. We go ahead and knock it out the park and turn the bases. You was walking faith and started running out of patience. I sat at the table with my plate, I'm saying graces. We cast all our cares, forget the past and turn the page. I say, yeah, buddy. Rolling like a big shot, got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. 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 Yeah, okay, do what you gon' do to get the message. What you mean? Had to cut you off cause you was messing. All my dogs got it off the strength, bench pressing. 10 plus, I can never quit, I'm invested. I can feel you in with the crew cause you ain't real enough. Try to knock it down, but I can't let you ain't build it up. You can't eat the crock cause you was not out in the field with us. We got back in fellowship with God, how they gon' deal with us? Heard somebody talking from the benches. Yeah, they was like, no, don't shoot, I ain't listen. I feel like I'm Curry in the clutch, I ain't missing. I'ma trust in God without the luck, I ain't with you. I say, yeah, buddy. Rolling like a big shot, got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. Free on the inside, free on the outside. Free on the inside, free on the outside. Free on the inside, free on the outside.
You're in the mix with your boy Blue.
I used to catch a buzz trying to drink the pain away. I was stuck in my world, call it misery. Rosary round my neck couldn't help me. The streets were screaming my name, them haters mad at me. I called it flattery, fought with jealousy. Greed it captured me, like God was mad at me. Pistol on my waist, swore I made a man of me. The devil covered up my eyes, I could barely see. He walking me to sleep, right past the narrow path. Then I heard a voice, and it called me back. He said he'll never leave me, so I took his hand. Gave my life to God, and I ain't turning back. The word a lamp to my feet, he'll never break a promise. My testimony, the proof, if you were doubting Thomas. I'ma show you love. If you hate regardless, I'ma worship Christ when times are the hardest. I ain't mad at you haters, I'm showing nothing. I was gone for a minute, back to the feet of the blood. I'm talking about the king, the one that bled for me. Nails in his hands, nails in his feet. I ain't mad at you haters, I'm showing nothing but love. I was gone for a minute, back to the feet of the blood. I'm talking about the king, the one that bled for me. Nails in his hands, nails in his feet. Went from pushing keys to the kingdom. They used to call me Kilo, my hustle was evil. Used to sell dope, killing God's people. Went from selfish plans to a selfless man. But I'm far from perfect, still working on it. Conviction keeps me on my toes, and I'm thankful for it. If I ever did you dirty, please forgive me for it. And I ain't holding no grudge, can't let my past be a grudge. I'm moving forward now, never looking down when life comes around. Got my strength now, I got a peace of mind that money can't buy. I look a dope boy in his eye when I testify. The streets will leave you lonely, this game is so phony. I'm still praying for them ones lost in my city. I need believers standing with me in the seat. I'm lifting up silver here to give them Jesus. I ain't mad at you haters, I'm showing nothing but love. I was gone for a minute, back to the beat of the blood. I'm talking about the king, the one that bled for me. Nails in his hands, nails in his feet. I ain't mad at you haters, I'm showing nothing but love. I was gone for a minute, back to the beat of the blood. I'm talking about the king, the one that bled for me. Nails in his hands, nails in his feet.
You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix with your boy Blue. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix with your boy Blue. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix with your boy Blue. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. You're in the mix with your boy Blue. That's right, y'all. Now you know what it's like to vibe, rock, roll, and ride with me. Your boy Blue in the mix. 5OST out.
From underneath the trees, we watch the sky, confusing stars, the satellites. I never dreamed that you'd be mine, but here we are, we're here tonight, singing, hey, man, I'm alive, singing, hey, man, I am alive. If everyone cared and nobody cried, if everyone loved and nobody lied, if everyone shared and swallowed their pride, then we see the day when nobody died, and I'm singing, hey, amen, amen.
Welcome back, mi gente. Welcome back. Like the song said, we have to pray during the midst, during the problems. We have to pray through it. We have to believe. Just because things don't go our way, we don't have to stop believing. We have to even believe even more for something good that is going to come. We have to be grateful for the doors that He opens, for the miracles that He provides, that He shows us. We expect big miracles, so we don't see the little miracles. Those food banks, those that I was talking about, what do you think? Those are open doors that God, puts out there. There are people that are willing to help. There's people that are willing to give. Not every person, not every church is bad. Okay, now that's going to be my next subject. I'm hearing a lot about a lot of commotion going in social media, and I guess, and if you don't have social media, like the older people that don't have social media, you probably don't see this. You know, I like to stay informed on what's going on, and things that are happening. A lot of people are going. There's a lot of debate going about churches and stuff. Um, all because a young lady did an experiment. Um, she is a content maker, so she's gonna do what's gonna catch attention. Um, but as I'm hearing all these negative things, and you know it is written in the Bible that this is going to happen. That people are going to start falling. The people that we didn't think about that will fall are going to fall. The people that we thought they were, oh my God, this is ride and die for Jesus. They're going to turn. It's going to happen, and it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen little by little, slowly, but it's happening. Now that girl that did the experiment. Let me tell you, for those that don't know, there was a young lady that did an experiment. Where baby formula um she pretended she needed baby formula. And before all you guys jump and say, oh, why is she doing that, first let me explain what she did, and we're going to get to that as well. Well, she pretend that she needed formula, and I believe she had some kind of a crying effect in the background to make it more believable. And she called churches around asking for baby formula. And she wanted to do this experiment because of people, now that this is going on with the food stamps and what people are not giving. She wanted to see how the churches are reacting, if they're helping, you know, because when you go to church and you hear all this, oh, we're doing for the community, we're here for you, we're here if you guys need, this is God's home, and all that money that people put into it, so she did an experiment by calling churches and asking them if she could have one. Okay, she wasn't asking for feed my whole family, feed me. She says, one, can you help me with 1 can of formula for my daughter? 1 can. That's all she asked for. 1 can of formula. My daughter's hungry. I don't have the money. There's no food stamps. There's nothing. Can you help me? And guess what happened? She called these Christian churches, okay? And this is where I have a problem calling myself a Christian sometimes. This is why I have a problem with people labeling it, because that's not who I represent. I'm embarrassed to say that that's not who I represent. No, I'm sorry. And people get upset. I don't, doesn't bother me at all. I don't represent that. I represent a God that is loving. I gotta represent a God that helps if he can. And if, yes, I understand that we sometimes don't have the money to help people. And I could speak on this because we do this for the park. We do this and nobody helping us. We do this and it gets tough for us. You don't think we want to help everyone out there? We wish we could buy them blankets, clean clothes, and stuff like that. We wish we could have more money to do stuff, but we don't. We do what we can with what we have, with the blessings of God. What God gives us, we do. Um, so this particular young lady called all these churches. She called, I believe, more than 20 churches. That's crazy. 20, yeah, 20 or 20 something. Okay, she called all these churches. Okay, Christian churches, asking for formula. And if you guys say, well, I want to see the receipts, it's online. There's a recording with her actually calling them, where people are giving her the answer. She's showing now, because people are saying, well, are you sure you called my church? Well, let me tell you, this is your church, so that's who I called. She has all the videos, all the recordings, and a lot of these churches, some of them hung up on her. They didn't even care. And some of them said, no, we don't do that here. There was one in particular that bothered me, that I think that bothered me more, when they said, we do have it, but this is for our members. What on earth does that mean? We do have, but it's for our members? Are you freaking kidding me? That's not what God intended. What do you mean this is for your members? I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know all the members drank formula, but now I guess now I do. But this is a baby that needed. The baby needed us, and it's not a real baby. I know it's not, but it was a situation. You have to think, what if it was a child? Oh, and people are criticizing her. Why did she do the experiment? Well, maybe it was time for people to open their eyes, because a lot of people are giving. You need to know who you give to. So a lot of churches, well, 17 churches to be exact, denied her. 17 churches told her, no, we have a food bank, but it's for our members. One said, we only cater to seniors. I never heard of that. We only, I thought I thought we help everyone that needs help. And I understand, like I said, maybe that church particular doesn't have formula. I'm not close minded. I'm not saying, oh, you have to have it. No, I understand that. But do you have the resource to send her somewhere else? Can you tell her, ma'am, we don't do that here, but here's the number where they could help you, ma'am. Here's the number where they could help, or let me ask my pastor, what can we do? Can we get a little bit of that offering and buy her a can? She was asking for 1 can. She wasn't asking for nothing else. 1 can. Can we get a little bit of that offering and use it for a can of formula for a child? Can we do that or no? Because I know that if we had the money and someone came up to us and said, my baby needs a formula, and we have our tidings, or we have our people, the whatever people want to help us with, that's what it's meant for. It's meant for that day, for that moment. You know, um, so 17 churches denied her, all in different ways, but 17 Christian churches denied about one baby formula. And now they're coming out with excuses saying, oh, we thought it was a scam, but you didn't bother to investigate. You didn't even bother to talk to her more to see, well, can you come to the church and pick up the can? Then you could say all the excuses you have in the book. Oh, well, we get prank calls all the time, or oh, we didn't know if it was for real, but you didn't bother to find out if it was for real. Now you're trying to excuse. But let me tell you about this. Okay, so the 17 churches denied her. Okay, and I'm not trying to sell you religion, and I'm not trying to tell you, anything, because that's not. I'm stating the fact of how churches are changing. Okay, so she called uh she called a place with Mormons, and call them us, and she put the recording out there, and the guy goes, yes, he said, like he was like, okay, like puzzled, like formula, but he said, yes, we could help you. He said, what brand does the baby drink? And she told him what brand. Okay, we could get you a can. Can you come pick it up? How far are you from us? And the girl says, I'm 10 minutes away. Yeah, if you could come down here, what could we take you? Yeah, we'll help you with that can. And after 17 churches denied her, and someone that she didn't think was gonna help her helped her. They didn't care if she belonged to they never asked her. She showed the recording. They never asked her, do you belong to this church? Are you a member? Do you give to the community of the church? They didn't ask that. They asked her, what type of formula does your baby need? Huh. Huh. Yep. And then someone, of course, said, a pastor came out and said, well, the Mormons had to do it. They do it because they buy their faith. They have to sell their faith. They have to, and I'm like, really? That's the best thing you come up with? How about they're obedient to what whatever God they pray to is telling them, that they have to help each other? What about that? What are they about? They're being obedient to what they read, whatever Bible, Quran, whatever they read. How about they are being obedient to what they're are told? How come you're gonna say that? Oh, they're just selling their faith. You have to, what? No, they were willing to help. They didn't even ask, what religion are you? They didn't even ask anything. They didn't ask questions. They just say, how far are you from us to get you that formula? You know, they probably didn't even have it there, but probably somebody from them, they were going to go buy that formula for that person. You know, I remember when the pandemic hit, and the church we used to go to asked us, if we see formulas, please buy it if you can, because, you know, um, these places were going, they didn't have formula. And I remember I bought a couple because I didn't have a lot of money. I remember I bought a couple that, and I gave them to the pastor. She gave them out. I didn't care who was, or I'll only give this formula to members. Only give this formula if only that person comes to the church. No, they have bought. People were giving them because they have bought them for anyone from the community that might need it. That might come asking for it. They said, we might not have that brand, but we have for baby formula, and baby formula is baby formula. We might not have your brand, but we have a couple that are close to it. That's what they had it for. So I'm trying to get at this experiment. No, I don't. I'm not going to criticize the girl that did this, which a lot of people are, because they say, it wasn't real. She didn't even have a baby. She was doing an experiment. That's what experiment is called. And people do that. They do experiments with animals all the time. They do experiments with society all the time. Why is it not okay for her to do that experiment? They do experiment with everything. Everything is an experiment. Every shampoo, every lotion, everything you do is an experiment. Everything is an experiment. How many times do you say they did an experiment, see how many Latinos go to school, how many Latinos don't go to school, how many African Americans don't go to school? It's an experiment. Why is it okay to do those type of experiments, but it's not okay for her to do that experiment? That is just teaching us that we have to be careful who we give the money to, where we give our money to, that we work hard for it. And some lady said, if you have a problem with that, give it to someone that needs it. Buy it to someone that needs it, that needs food, that needs clothes. We're supposed to be brothers and sisters. Church is supposed to be teaching you to help one another if we can. Help one another. Not help only if you're a member. Not let's do a let's do commitment to each other and help each other. Let's do that. Let's have that. Whether you're a member or not, doesn't matter. There shouldn't be members anyways. It should be open for anyone. No covenant, nothing like that. It shouldn't be like that. It should be freedom, because God is freedom. Because God wants us to help one another without asking what race, nationality, with anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter size, color, nothing. We're all brothers and sisters. And if my neighbor needs it and I have it, why not? And if I don't have it, let me help you find it. Resources. We are a very small church. Our church is small, but we try to give them resources that are given to us. Everything that you guys donate goes to them. Everything. There's people that ask us for stuff that we sometimes we don't have. And guess what? It's called the Nicole Monroe Experiment of Churches. That's what it's called. So if you haven't heard of it, do your research. It's the Monroe Experiment of Churches. I believe her name is Nicole. I don't know if I'm saying it correct. Nicole or Nikolai. Monroe is the last name. Experiment of Churches. How do you deny someone that needs milk? How? Like I said, like I was saying, when we're out there, there's people that come up to us and say, "We need deodorant. You think you help me with that?" Absolutely, absolutely. I can't buy you the whole store. I can't buy you more than that, but I could hook you up with a deodorant. I could hook you up with one can of food for your daughter, because I know formula is very expensive. That's what she said. One can. She didn't say cans. One. We spend more money on Starbucks. We spend more money on stupid things. Why not help a brother or sister or a child in need? You know, maybe this experiment is done for a reason. Maybe it's just to open up our eyes. Where we giving our money, to be more on it. Just maybe it's time to ask our church, what are we doing for others if others need? What are we doing for the people that need? Because this God wants us to reach everyone, not just the members. Not just the members. No. See, when we're out there in the park giving people stuff, yes, we have our regulars that are always there, and we have people that come just one stop and we never see them again. And I pray that they're doing better. But we're not gonna be like, oh, I never seen you before, so no, this is for the people that are usuals. No, that's why Red Blue always says, if you're hungry, if you need something, we have it here. Come get it. He doesn't say only members or only if you've been here before. As a 40-second video, 9 churches have said that they will help, and 33 have said no. That's sad. 40-second video. That's sad. 9 churches said they'll help, and 32 said no. That's sad. That's sad. That's just a wake up call, people, to see who you're serving, who you're calling your church. because when you're studying the Bible, when you're reading the Bible, it's telling you to help one another, to love your brother and sister, to love your neighbor. It's telling you that, and that's part of that helping. But when you're not willing to help them, do you think that that's what why people don't want to come around? You think that's why people say, no, I don't want. Now with this going on, people are not going to want to come around. You know, I'm happy that the church where we go to gives out food bank to anyone that needs. I'm happy that I have seen, like, not a lot, but I've seen at least twice in the 2 years I went been there. Someone comes in and they're hungry. They take them to the back and they give them something for the food pantry. They don't tell them, oh, it's only for our members. Or it's only for our fire to give it away. No, they give them what they have in there for them. I seen it. I'm grateful for that. Maybe it's time for you to ask your church, what do we do in a case that someone comes in and says, I need this? What do we do? Do we say no? We turn them down? Do we what do we do? This girl, some of these churches hung up on her. They didn't even want to talk to her. That's crazy. That is crazy. And then I want to say something about that. Also, with that being said, before we got on the radio, before I got on, I saw another video, because after seeing that, I started doing some researches, and I saw another video in Michigan where a girl that was homeless, not your typical homeless, she just became homeless and is sleeping in her car, and she wanted to park at the church because she feels safe, because she should be able to park at the church. And the church people that were working there told her she had to leave or they're going to call the cops. How do you want people to come if you're doing that crap? How do you tell that girl, get out or I'm going to call the cops, or she has nowhere to sleep? Was she just using her car? She ain't bugging no one, because she wasn't bugging anyone. Yeah. What the F is going on with Christians in the United States? Do they have no concept of Christian values? Their girls was brilliant. Follow her on TikTok. Yeah, she had to open somebody's eyes. We have to open eyes sometimes. Like I was saying, that lady in Michigan, she's recording, and these people from church are gonna call the cops on her because they don't want her parking there. And you might say, "Well, it's private property from parking." No, it's a community parking, because guess who pays those bills? It's people that go to church, that tithe. It's people that put money into that church parking. Have the have your members decide if she could park there. Then you don't do that choice for her or for them. Don't call yourself a Christian when you're telling her, I'm gonna call the cops because you're parking in my spot and not doing nothing. She just sleep. She said, all I want to do is sleep. That's how she wants to sleep. She's gonna leave, but she just wants to sleep. You give her a couple of hours to sleep. She's not asking to come sleep in your church inside. She wanted to sleep outside in the parking lot.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
So no, it's not your decision. It's the people that tithe. It's the people that put money into your church. Congregation it's a congregation that has to decide, not you, ma'am, whoever you were. It is wrong. It is wrong. What's wrong with people now? What's wrong with church people doing this? That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And then you wonder why people don't want to come to your church, because you're doing crap like this. And these are things that we see on camera. Imagine things that we don't see behind camera. Be careful. Be careful what church you're giving your money to, because you work hard for that money. I believe in giving to others. Absolutely. I believe in helping your church. Absolutely. I help my church. Absolutely. I'm not saying don't help, but find out who you're helping. Find out who you're supporting. And you're in the bus and your pastor is rolling and everything and he doesn't care for you. Open up your eyes. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Absolutely. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. I don't want to be part of. I don't want to be part of people that are treating others like that. No, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Please, please be careful who you give your money to. Please be careful. And all these crazy pastors that I'm seeing, that it's just crazy about. Oh, the Lord told me I need to have a new car, and you guys have to help me. Please. I'm not allowed to say this, but don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. And they're all clapping. Yeah, you deserve it, Pastor. How about you? You don't deserve good things in life either. You don't think God loves you that much that you deserve that too. You know, this pastor said the Lord said that I need a new car, and I could use the tithings from this Sunday to buy my new car. And I said, yeah. And you know what I said? I wrote a comment. I said, the Lord said to get your ass a job and buy yourself a car, because what people are providing is for your church, not for your personal use. It's not for your personal use. Be careful who you give your money to. I knew churches that were asking people to pay their power bill, their phone bill. That's insane. That's not God.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's not God. And if you leave that, you need to have your brain checked. And if you're offended, that's your problem, not mine. Because ain't nobody taking money from me to pay their bills. This money I give to the Lord is for the Lord. Whatever they use it with, if they're lying, it's on them. But I'm careful who I give my money to. I'm very careful. I'm very careful. And I don't believe in 10% or 20%. I believe you give what you can. Because there's times that, believe me and you, and God is my witness, I give sometimes more than 10%. And I have no regrets. And somehow God makes it work. Because I give it without thinking. And then when I sit down and do the math, and I'm like, how did I get away with this? That's just God. That's God blessing us. Please be careful who you give your money to. Don't judge this girl for doing the experiment. As a matter of fact, thank her for opening your eyes. Thank her for letting you know what's really going out there. She's doing things that people are not willing to do, because no one's willing to question their pastor. No one's willing to question their church if things are looking fishy. No one is. Oh, because apparently the pastor of their church is God. No, it's not. He's just another messenger. She's just a God's messenger. That's all he is. I respect my pastor. He is God's servant, and I respect him because he earned my respect. He earned my respect because I seen him work. Because I seen him do things. Because I seen him how he treats others. Not because he demands it. So be careful, guys. Love one another. Help someone if you can. If God puts someone in your path that you can, maybe you can't help them with that money, with food, but maybe you have an extra can in your house, or maybe you could tell them, "Hey, brother, this is where they're giving out food." Oh, hey, brother, these are the resources. I'll help you research. If you don't have a phone, I have a phone. I'll help you. That's how you can help. Until next time, people, take care of each other, love one another, respect the animals, be kind to the animals. Don't be evil. There's a lot of evil going on. Let's start praying about people. Don't let the enemy get away with doing things. Until next time. Love you guys.
Rises up from an empty